Hey everyone, it's Tracy, and as promised, I have part 2 of the Facebook floor plan redraw. If you haven't seen part 1, I would go check that out if I were you. I go into a lot more depth and detail of what stands out on this floor plan that I'm about to talk about and show you my version. So the original one, let me show it to you here real quick, was posted to a Facebook group that I follow for house plans and building. And again, I don't know who drafted it. The homeowner was just looking for advice on what we might do differently or suggestions. And so as you can see, this right here is what they posted. And so there were things that caught my eye right off the bat, and I only had time to chime in just a little bit. So here again, I would watch part 1 if I was you. But I just drafted right over their version just to show so that I could redo it. So let me click this off here. And happy 4th of July to everybody in America. Okay, so here is my version, and we'll show you side by side. Let's make sure you can see it. Okay. So with this floor plan, the first thing that caught my eye was that these windows here were not symmetrical to the dining room. And I'm one of those people, I like everything to be symmetrical as possible. And I feel like they had an opportunity to fix that. I think when things are not symmetrical, it actually draws your eye to that instead of what you needed to be focused on. So in this case, I kept focusing on that. So in my version, what I did, I scooted this wall over, took some room out of the pantry. The pantry was already big enough, and added a third window to make that even with the dining room. And as you can see, I think it's pretty spacious, even with the table in there. This table is like 40 by about 80 inches, I believe. So they still have a ton of room, and it looks nice in my opinion. So that was the first thing I noticed. The longer that I kept looking at this plan, though, after I'd already commented on the post, I was like, oh, this needs a lot of help. So anyway, go watch part 1. You'll see what I'm talking about. So the next thing I want to point out was this bathroom. The bathroom had a linen cabinet right here by the door, which if that's the case, they're not going to have room for a light switch unless they do some sort of a sensor. So what I did, I took a little bit of room from this bedroom, just moved this wall up a little bit, flipped the sinks, gave them a linen cabinet that was as deep as the sink, so that would be 21 inches there, the sink cabinets. So that way they have a little more storage, and they should have room for a light switch now. I also flipped this door swing around. For some reason they had it the other way. And again, I don't know who drafted the first one, and maybe the homeowners did it themselves, I don't know. But I feel like it's important to get another set of eyes on it, because there's things that I miss in my drawings, and I'm not perfect by any means. I make mistakes, as everybody does. So, but that also caught my eye, was the door swing there. So I fixed that. I also made this fireplace bigger. This one was, I think 4'4" or something like that. In my 3D, I don't treat the fireplace or anything, so it's just walls right now. But I felt like that needed to be a little bit bigger. Then if we move on to the kitchen. So I went ahead and did a kitchen design. I'll show you that in a second in 3D. On their plan, they had a dishwasher here, which I felt like that was not a good spot. So I moved it to this side and scooted the island down, just shortened it a little bit, so that way you'd have room to open your dishwasher and get it out of the corner. And the other thing with the kitchen here is that they had a rail going right into the window. So I actually shortened that, and the deck, or whatever that is 20 foot now. Again, sometimes they indicate things on these plans, like the ceiling heights, or if that's a deck, a porch, or whatever. In this case, they don't really say. So like for ceiling heights, I just did 8 foot flat. They did say that this great room was vaulted, but For this purpose, I just left everything flat. And again, I don't know if this is covered or not, but still, I don't think I'd want a rail right in front of my window to look at. I think that'd be kind of annoying. Another thing with the kitchen, I also centered this range along this run here. Again, going back to symmetry, I think it looks nicer when things are symmetrical. That's just my opinion. Some people don't care about that, but I think that's really important for design, for things to be symmetrical if possible. So if we go to it'll be page 3 here. So this is the other half of the house, and I think this was probably the main concern of the original poster, is that they have this area here, these rooms here that don't really make a lot of sense. And it's because when you have diagonal walls like this, you really have to use them properly, or they turn into a huge waste of space, kind of like that little triangle there. So I did my best to try to rework that. And their original laundry room was basically unusable. Make sure you can see that. So I show here how the cabinets are opened. You wouldn't even be able to really get in there. You wouldn't really be able to use your laundry room properly, in my opinion. So my goal was to really rework this area quite a bit because I felt like it needed the most help out of the whole plan. So in my version, I actually kept this walk-in closet and I left it alone. I didn't want to touch that. So for me to rework this laundry room, what I did was I scooted this wall over. So there's all this room here. So I took advantage of that. Gave them a barn door so that they could have a switch there if they wanted to. They could also put it there, I suppose, but barn door or pocket, whatever. And turned the door swing for the garage, flipped it the other way so that it's not opening into the window area. This here is all just bench, and this is if they want to use that for lockers, or it's just a kind of a tall cabinet there. I still have a sink and then an area for a hamper, but I'll show you that in 3D in a second. I think it turned out really cool. But in part 1, I mentioned they have a lot of opportunities for pocket doors or barn doors. So I do have a couple of pocket doors that I added. They are great space savers in terms of square footage into the room that you're in. So that's why I wanted to use those. So let's see, gave them a closet for brooms, cleaning supplies, whatever they want to do there. I just squared this little bathroom off and just made it normal. I feel like we don't pay attention enough here to diagonal dimensions. That right there was maybe 2'2", which there's some people that are bigger than that, and they wouldn't be able to use this bathroom. So I just squared it off and made it a normal little bathroom, turned the toilet and the sink so that they're over here now. Let's see. Okay, so part 1, I talked about the basement stairs. They called out for a 30-inch door right here, which I feel like that's pretty small, especially like if you say you want to get large furniture down there, or maybe you want to get an appliance down there like a fridge or something. I feel like that's not going to work. So I borrowed some room from the master bedroom, which they actually labeled these backwards on their original plan. So that's why it says bathroom over here. Those are corrected on mine. But I widened that to 3'10" and then gave them a 3-foot door so that they can utilize that better. Door swing, I thought maybe it made sense to turn it this direction instead of this way. But there's still plenty of room in the bedroom for their stuff there. So bed and furniture. So if we come over to the master bathroom, again, they had theirs labeled wrong. And here again, I don't know who did it. Sometimes things just happen like that. And like everybody I've screwed things up before. I probably would have fixed that before posting it on Facebook, but I'm glad people post their plans though, so that they can get another set of eyes on them. Because sometimes you just don't think about this stuff when you're drafting them out, or maybe you're looking at it forever and you kind of get stuck. So I'm glad they posted this because it's kind of a fun one to redo. So anyway, with the master bathroom, I kept the shower the same. I did move the shower head off an exterior wall and I put it to an interior wall. And I will show you in a second what the shower looks like. I was playing around with the tile and stuff. I also gave them their own water closet. I feel like if you're sharing a bathroom with somebody, like you're genuinely sharing the bathroom, it's important to separate that portion. And I don't know, maybe y'all don't care. I think it's kind of gross. I'm not gonna go in there and do my business if somebody's taking a shower. I just think that's gross. So anyway, I feel like it's important to wall off your toilet if you're sharing a bathroom, but if you don't care about that, that's great. So I shortened their cabinets just a little bit, gave them a linen cabinet here. I added the shower door here. And I put their mixing valve right there, so that way they can just open the door, turn on their shower, and let it warm up. That's how ours is at home. It's kind of nice. It's just right there, and you can access it. There's a bench and a niche. Have a pocket door to the closet with a bench. So here again, if you can do pocket doors, I would strongly suggest it. It's a great space-saving option. I thought about adding another door right here, but then I was like, nah, we don't need to do that in case they want to put furniture there or something. So those are my revisions. That's what I would do if they asked my opinion, or how would I redesign this. And so if we go to my version here, so here's the kitchen. Let's see if my camera will work. So this is the standard camera. So it's not going to be super realistic. If I were to turn it over to my physical camera, I could try it. It might take a second to denoise. But what the physical camera does, you really see reflections. It brings it to life. And so when I'm rendering for people and I'm taking this image and I'm sending it to the layout, you can't see it here, but in my bottom screen, it's basically building the rendering. So that's anywhere from 6 to 8 million pixels. And so it can take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes for this to fully develop. And once it's done, then I send it to the layout. But that's why design can be so time consuming sometimes, because this is what we're waiting on. We're waiting on those final renderings to take place. But I'm going to flip it back over to my other camera, because usually the physical camera, if you'll notice, it gets kind of pixelated until it's done. So anyway, but this is my version of the kitchen, and I don't necessarily pick this stuff out because that's what I want to do, but there's a dining room. It's all symmetrical. I thought it'd be cool to do black doors. So I did the pantry and the laundry doors as glass. I thought they were kind of cute. But if I go into the bathroom here, this is the master bedroom. See what the tile looks like. So here's the, I'm gonna position my camera here. Oops, not that. I normally don't do it this way, but since I'm trying to record, I would like it to try to catch up here. So here's the shower, and I was just kind of playing around with the tile earlier. In there, in the edges and stuff, so. Anyway, just thought I would show that to you. I'm just gonna drag this down. So I wanna show you the laundry room really quick, and then that should be it. But you guys will have to let me know what you guys think of my version versus the original. What would you do differently? The garage has wood floor in it. So I just thought it'd be cute to have glass on the laundry. I think it's kind of cool if you can do that because it lets more light in also for these smaller rooms like this. But I kind of wanted to show you, even if you have a weird shaped room, you can still make the most of it and make it look cool. So here I added a closet rod, and maybe you don't want it to go all the way across, and that's fine. But there's still room enough to move around, do your laundry, do what you need to do. Here's the sink area. That's a little hamper, so if you wanted to put your hamper under the countertop, you could. And I gave it a little light above the sink. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys today, but do let me know what you guys think. Thank you for the comments on the last video. That was really nice of you guys. I like reading those. I don't get very many, but I do enjoy reading the ones that I do get. So thank you for liking, subscribing, and all of that. Send me your floor plans. If you find a really bad floor plan, send it to me and I'll see if I can fix it or redo it or whatever. But let me know what you guys think on this one. If you like what I did, what you would do differently, or if you liked the first one, just fine. That's fine too. But until then, I will see you all on the next one.